While police are questioning Travis, you get the sense that there's a comfort level there. Typically, if you have a scene where two men are armed, another man is driving around and had been with the men who were armed, and another victim is bleeding on the ground to death, that there would be a bit more of urgency and perhaps even concern by the police about what may happen next. But it seems that they are very understanding of the McMichael situation, even some consoling of Travis McMichael having been the shooter.
If you were to stop this,
that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, just take a breath. I can only imagine. You're okay, sir. Like I said, I can only imagine. I hope I never have to understand what you feel.
Okay, quick recap. This is the case of Ahmaud Arbery, and he was a 25-year-old man, and he lived in a neighborhood where he would jog all the time. He ends up getting chased by a few gentlemen. They decide to shoot him with a shotgun as he's running away, like far, far away. And the police get on scene, and they're just acting like it's not that big of a deal. They feel bad for the perpetrator, it sounds like, because they were well known in the community. Oh, it gets worse.
Right now.
She says at one point, I can only imagine what you've been through. What about the dead man on the road? And when is somebody going to ask, why is there a dead man on the...
So police get on scene. It should be a bigger deal than it is. Odd. When are they going to care about the victim in all of this, right? But and then not just that, but what you're going to hear in a second is that the super important person who was already well known, make sure that from the jump, everybody knows how important he is, because that's going to paint how the police department is going to handle this man's murder. At least mine was just like a fake $200,000 theft. This one, we're talking murder. An important man got to tell the police that he was important, and it would paint. Watch.
Now, listen to Gregory McMichael. Make sure that the responding officers know that he is a former Glynn County DA investigator.
Yeah, I was chief investigator with the DA's office for 23 years, so I know what you got to do. I know everything, you know. What's his name?
Leska. Officer, that's Sergeant Leska.
I didn't know
Greg McMichael, who reminds the police officer, hey, man, I used to work with your police force, this, that, and the other, I know a bunch of people. From that point on, it certainly does look like it's completely a gamed system.
At some point, Gregory McMichael actually calls the acting district attorney in the county, his former boss, Jackie Johnson.
Jackie, this is Greg. Can you call me as soon as you possibly can? My friend and I have been involved in a shooting, and I need some advice right away. If you could please call me as soon as you possibly can. Thank you.
Okay, don't miss this part. So, very important man, in my case, aka Bruce Lashley, reminds everybody who he is, okay? Just like this, I won't even call him a gentleman, like this perpetrator, killer does. He's super important. He knows super important people, right? Not only that, but then he goes and calls a more important person. In this case, it would be the acting DA. In Bruce's DUI case, it was Sheriff Pramel. And the investigators on that DUI case from March of this year say that they have him on recording speaking to Sheriff Pramel on his personal cell phone. They said 20 minutes. Again, I can only repeat what I've been told, but I heard it from multiple sources, and one of them being like the attorney for that client that Bruce, totaled their vehicle and just thought he was going to walk away because he could call Sheriff Pramel. And how do we subpoena their records so I can see how many phone calls these two had about my pretend case? If you know somebody, let me know somebody so we can figure it out.
The local district attorney in this area is Jackie Johnson. She would have had jurisdiction over this shooting investigation if charges were filed. And she immediately recused herself because she had a connection. She was the person in charge of the office when Greg McMichaels worked there as an investigator for many years.
So I really am sorry that I have to keep interrupting. But did you get that part? Recused herself? like, because there was a personal conflict of interest. They knew each other. Somebody had given each other money. They worked together, blah, blah, blah. Why in the world would like Amira Fox and State recuse themselves from Bruce's DUI in March of this year, but still be on my case, my pretend case, from September of last year? Make it make sense.
Jackie Johnson says, I cannot be involved in this, but she does contact George Barnhill in Wayne County. And Wayne County, we know, contacted the Glenn County Police Department that day.
She just goes straight to Barnhill, which she really doesn't have the right to do.
Not a one-off, guys. These important people do this all the time. Hello, Alex Teehee and so many other people who have been in my phone. Like,
And she names him. So he takes it on the first day of the shooting. He takes it that afternoon. And by noon the next day, George Barnhill has declared that he sees no evidence that the three white men acted inappropriately in chasing or killing Ahmaud Arbery.
When you look back at the police report, once it was eventually released to the public, you get the sense that the police, in their narrative, essentially just wrote down what the McMichaels said happened, and they wrote that down as the facts of everything that transpired.
I wonder if non-detective Christopher Farley was the one who wrote that fake police report, like my fake probable cause affidavit, because he definitely went to Bruce Lashley's house and talked to Bruce Lashley and saw the homemade Excel spreadsheet that Bruce Lashley's daughter, who's never known anything about anything, in fact, so much stuff, my job, a lot of it was to keep things from her that I can prove over and over again. But he just went and took their word and then continued to lie about it. So not only did he take the homemade spreadsheet and Bruce's word, that they both swore to, by the way, just one notary was needed, no indictment, no grand jury, nothing like that, just non-detective Christopher Farley and Bruce Lashley and his daughter's spreadsheet all just saying that I did something without permission, zero talking to my actual, like the majority owner of the company about any of the facts, and then made up parts of a conversation to like a bowl of law from, oh my gosh, like, yes, they do just make things up. Here, there, everywhere. How do these people have jobs? How do I get arrested? This is actually insane.
Several weeks would go by with no updates. The then district attorney, George Barnhill, announces he is recusing himself. But before he does, he sends this letter to law enforcement sharing his opinion that no charges should be filed in the case. He goes on to say that the reason for his recusal is because his son works at the Glenn County District Attorney's Office, the same agency that Gregory McMichael retired from. After Barnhill, the case lands in the hands of this man, Thomas Durden.
Do you trust the new prosecutor?
I know this answer. No!
We're very distrustful of any prosecutor in this southeastern region of Georgia because they all know one another.
Despite the changes in prosecution, the case of Ahmaud Arbery's killing remains idle for more than 2 months. And with the coronavirus dominating the headlines, it gets little to no attention in the media until early May, when the cell phone video of Ahmaud Arbery's death surfaces on social media.
For the love of everything, please don't miss that part. Why am I going out here and doing all of this? Because it's not until it has to become public and social media helps, thank you, Jesus, literally get the actual truth out, because these people are never going to say it. And they would love for, at this point, this to just go away quietly, this whole pretend thing they created. But I'm hoping that with you guys' help, they don't get that. And that maybe other people like Alex's family, who aren't just accused of theft, but have lost family members, will get the justice from our very own Sheriff's Department. I don't even know how involved everyone is, but I know it's dirty, dirty.
It was coming up, outrage around the world. And the McMichaels and Roddy Bryant on trial for murder.
We hit the ground running Wednesday morning, and within 36 hours, we had secured warrants for 2 individuals for felony murder.
So the world tunes in and everything changes. There's no charges, and then there are lots of charges, big charges. Let's talk about this at 8:30 live tonight.